I will be short and sweet, but I will get my point out. The enemy has three things that he loves to do in the earth realm, and that is to seek, to unalive, and to destroy. And one area that he loves to play in is the area of the family. He loves to take out the family. And the way he does that is he begins to emasculate the man, or he begins to deal with the man in a way to where the man don't want to be in the household anymore. And if he can get the man out of the household, he can have the family. For the husband is the head of the wife, as Christ is the head of the church. I know y'all don't want to hear it. Of course y'all don't want to hear it because you're on this feminist kick. But it doesn't take anything away from me for my husband to be head of my household, of our household. I want him to be, actually, because I don't want to be independent. I know Beyonce and everybody talking about independence and all this and that. I don't want to be independent. It's too hard. It's too much pressure. I wasn't created for that. I was created to be a helpmate, to help meet the needs. You understand what I'm saying? To be at my husband's side, not at his feet, not behind him, but right there at his side. And he wants me right at his side. And we make decisions together. But at the end of the day, ultimately, he has that final say. But he always take into account what I feel and what I think. He always hears me out. Usually at the end of it, my idea is probably better than his. But he hears me out, and I allow him to take that lead because that's where he should be. He's in his rightful place. But today, and it has been going on forever because the enemy has been doing this for a long time. But even so today, it's more prevalent. There is this wicked and evil agenda out there to emasculate our men and to keep our men out of the home. And the enemy plays upon the battle of the mind. If he can get in the man's mind, the man will lose the battle. And the root of this thing is so deep. It is very deep that one has to pull extremely hard to pull out the very root of it. And if you don't get the entire root, it's just going to keep springing up. And it has been springing up over time, over and over and over again. The devil sometimes uses a spirit of lust when a man has an open door for that lust to come in to where he lusts behind another woman. You know what I'm saying? And, he will leave his entire family for that other woman. That's a trick of the enemy that he has yielded himself to. Now, we understand that that's a key factor, but let's also understand that sometimes other factors play in that, such as a woman who is alpha. She's so alpha that she wants to control the whole household. Well, a man does not want to be controlled. He does not want to be controlled. That takes away from his manhood. That takes away from his authority. And I'm not saying that a man should dominate over a woman. That's not what it's supposed to be. The word of God tells us, husbands, love your wives like Christ loves the church. Understand that Jesus laid down his life for the church. So a man has to be willing to protect that woman and lay down his life and treat her with kindness and love. When that is missing from the equation, then you will begin to see households fall apart because we all have to play our role, right? So if a man is not playing his role, he has to understand that he has to be held accountable in that. You cannot want a woman to do this and you're not doing that. Johnny Cochran, God rest his soul, we hope, said, if it doesn't fit, you must acquit. So a woman does not have a problem with submitting to a man that is loving her like Christ loves the church. Now that we have gotten that out of the way, let me get into something more deeper. And those who have spiritual ears, I need you to hear what the Spirit of the Lord is saying. I'm not looking for everybody to understand because not everybody is where I am at in my walk with Christ. I read, I study, and I speak to God, and he's showing me clearly what has happened in the earth realm today, what's going on. There's a spiritual war that's going on right now against men, to emasculate men, to take men out. Now, for TikTok purposes, I'm going to say a disclaimer. This is my opinion, TikTok. People can go somewhere else if they want to get more reliable sources. But this is my disclaimer. I don't want people to take this as their news source. This is my disclaimer, TikTok, okay? Yet this is based upon my faith and the Bible, okay? This agenda of WOKE is very, very diabolical. Very diabolical, very wicked, in my opinion. The enemy is trying to take out our men. He is trying to distort the very fabric of order of God. And people have been saying for a long time, well, but it's less than 1%. Oh my God, it's less than 1%. But the Bible tells me that a little leaven leavens the whole lump. And it's the little foxes that spoil the vine. Let me give you an example. Around autumn time, everybody in my neighborhood goes out and they begin to burn off the old grass. You know what I'm saying? For the new seed to begin to germinate and for our grass to start to be beautiful. You know what I'm saying? So my husband went out in the backyard and he lit a very, very small fire. And he walked away from it, and I was just sitting on the porch, and I was just looking at the fire or whatever, and it, coming toward the home, but it was coming toward the home slowly. All of a sudden, a wind began to blow, and it gave oxygen to that fire, and that fire began to spread and get out of control to where it was coming toward the house super, super fast. This is just like this particular agenda in the earth realm. It started off as a small fire, less than 1%. And then it infiltrated our schools. It infiltrated our sports. It began to infiltrate beauty contests. So you can't say, oh, it's just less than 1%. It's not a big deal. When you sit back and you stay silent and you speak of nothing and you just allow things to happen, if you get, like my mom said, if you give the devil a ride, he will start driving. You have to pull things out from the root. You have to, because it will take over. And so with all that being said, when you have little children in school that may be confused or delusional and say, well, I want to be this or I want to be that. I'm trying to use my words very carefully here because I don't want to be banned. I want to be this and I want to be that. And then if you go ahead and you begin to reassign them to this or that, especially if that's a boy, then you done cut off his seed. You get what I'm saying? You done cut off the man's seed. So if he becomes a teenager, an adult, and he changes his mind and he wants to now be what he was created to be, well, it's too late. Your seed has been cut off. You're an automatic eunuch. Cut off. Yeah. And so if you can get to them as a little one, then you done ruined their whole future. There's a spirit that is emasculating our men. There's a spirit that is trying to cut off our male seed. He is the head. Remember, they didn't know in the garden that they were naked until Adam ate. It says that she seen that it was good for eating, and she took it and gave to her husband. Then their eyes were open. It's all about the man. And if the enemy can emasculate our men and take our men out of the household like he did with welfare, and because the government said, well, you can't be in the household with this man and you receive this. So it's a very diabolical thing that is going on. And we as the women and men of God need to wake up to it and be more spiritually minded and just don't be like, oh, it don't matter. It does matter. God needs his ambassadors, his little kings of the King of Kings, little lords of the Lords of Lords, to wake up and begin to pray and seek his face and call heaven to earth. This is not a game. We are in spiritual warfare here. I know some of y'all don't think it is, but it is. And I'm being honest, I'm a little tired because I feel like Elijah sometimes, like I'm all by myself, but I do understand that the Lord had 7,000 others that didn't bow down to Baal. And I know there are some people out there praying. They're just not around me. So if you hear this message, continue to pray, because in these next 4 years, we may have a break. But the enemy, we have submitted ourselves to God. We have resisted the devil, and he has fled for a season, but he'll be back. So I need you guys to wake up and pray and seek the face of God. And church, don't be woke. I don't need you to be woke. I need you to be awakened. Do not fall asleep again. Awaken from your sleep and slumber. God bless you. I love you. I hope that this message get to the people that it's supposed to get to. And I hope you receive it the way I'm giving it, and I'm giving it in love. Protect our children, protect our men, protect our women. God bless you. Bye-bye.